Thank you, ma'am, for having me here. I'm from the school side, so all my predecessors have spoken from the point of view of colleges and higher education. So I will be speaking from the school point of view, and I hope my points are relevant and useful. Coming back here evokes a lot of nostalgia because I stayed for 2 years in PG Women's Hostel, and that was way back 1982 to 84, and pursued my master's degree here. So it's always wonderful to be back at DU. I begin with a very old traditional off-cited adage, Guru Govindo khade kaake lago paye, balihari Guru aapne jin Govindiyo milaya. It seems a very lofty and remote, idealistic kind of idea today because of what we've gone through. And the Guru Shishya tradition, which has been our stronghold of the Indian education system, has got lost in the labyrinths of, I would say, commercialization and consumerism to a large extent. Not all gurus are mercenaries, so to say, working for money. Most are in it for the love of education, the desire to make a difference and to eke out a respectful living with their integrity intact. So, speaking like a teacher today, I've been a teacher. I started off my career as a teacher, and I love to teach till today. The unrealistic expectations of our society in the recent years, over-ambition of parents. Again, I will also give an anecdote. Very recently, a parent comes to my office and says, ma'am, I'm the consumer. Now I have never ever looked at parents as consumers or as children as. I always thought education was an investment and not something of consumption. This idea that has changed in our society today needs attention because it is ruining the relationship between the educational institutions and the ones who are going to benefit from them. So I would like to draw your attention to this. Of course, this liberalized economy and what we have has brought in a lot of players like coaching institutes and tutorial centers who befool and capitalize, on the greedy aspirations of parents, misguided parents, I would say. But that is the sad story of today. And I do wish to draw your kind attention to this. Educating the parents, therefore, for me, is a very important role of all educational bodies that we have. Not long ago, our earlier generations would have looked down on tuition. My father, who was a great educationist, he used to say, doing tuition is like a Vaisakhi lekar ke chalna. We're not teaching the child to walk and struggle and walk on his own. We are giving him a stilt or a stick to walk with. So this is something that, previous generations believed that each child will have a niche for themselves in the world and will get by well. But the rat race for power and more power, that has corrupted absolutely and has taken over and led people towards an elusive dream where there is all comfort, hunky-dory, no struggle, have it all world for their kids from the parental point of view. Now this is very, very dangerous because life is all about struggle. And a child who does not develop problem-solving ability, who does not develop the resilience to face struggles in life, I think is going to be left behind somewhere. So, my next point is, we have come to a point where we are teaching a happiness curriculum. Is happiness to be a part of curriculum? Again, I go back to my father. He did B.Ed way back, I don't know, 1950s, 60s, from Allahabad University, and he used to tell me that in B.Ed, the first sentence that they learned was that a child should be taught at his pleasure and not at his peril. Where is this now? We fail children, we make them repeat classes, okay? We deny them even the last chance for a chance of success. It's not fair. And we don't agree with it. And this is something that our school has been following, a group of institutions has been following for the last 35 plus years. And we can do it. It's only very, very painful to go through that process. You need to be there for the child all the time. And you need to, like ma'am just said, my predecessor, that you need to take ownership of the child. So these things are not happening in the society. Again, coming back to education, when we say what is education, going into our traditional wisdom, it says, Ya vidya, sa vidya ya vimukta. True education liberates. But our education is all about bonding us down, tying us in mores and cultures and rigid sort of societal behaviors. And what is accepted and what is not accepted, and what is the definition of success and what is not a definition of success. So this is something, again, that I would like to draw the attention of the illustrious gathering here. The actualization of each and every child's potential, according to me, is extremely important. Every child comes to us with potential. I'm a psychologist. I've learned that there is something called as a basic IQ, there's something called as an effective IQ. And the effective IQ is in terms of what happens when you treat the child in a nurturing environment, in a motivational environment. So likewise, there are so many possibilities. And there have been research studies in which the effective IQ has gone up to 20 IQ points in certain children. So where are those people who are going to take the time to slow down, to understand the child, as Sir Saluja said very, very aptly, कि किताबें बहुत सी पढ़ी होंगी तुमने. Are we looking into their insights? What are the conflicts? What are the, and today's children are really in a difficult situation. They're exposed to so many things which we were not. Our lives were simpler. They are being exposed to things at a very early age, which they should not be, and they have no idea how to handle it. And neither do their parents, sorry to say. So in the passage of time, the teacher element has been compromised. Guru, the one who takes you from darkness to light, it has to be reclaimed. Teaching has to be understood and taken to be a full-time profession. Not for, most of the schools have teachers who are very, very accomplished, smart housewives who consider it to be a part-time profession. I come to the school, I do half a day of work, I go back, I check the copies or whatever. Checking the copies, I think, is not so important as actually, being with the child and spending time and correcting the child then and there. So, how to make that the profession of teaching in a school so important that a teacher takes it seriously. We have Indian civil services, we have Indian foreign services and police services and everything. Do we have an Indian education service? We don't. And there should be something whereby, teachers can be given certain institutes, certain national level institutes to go to and train themselves and learn and be lifelong learners. So this is another point. So the esteem has to go up of the profession. It's not something you're doing by the way. It's something that you need to do with all your heart, mind, and everything that you have. So this also, according to me, is one of the very important aspects, because by doing so, by not giving the teacher, especially the school teacher, their due, we are undermining our most important research, which is human capital, and we are not investing in it mindfully. So these are points. Coming to the brass tacks of the NEP and the professional standards, we should not let the idealism die. It's a tall order, I know, but we have to work at it. Now, for all training institutes, this training degree should also be treated like a professional degree, like medicine or engineering for that matter. Why not? It's a very important degree. But it is given the least time. You finish your B.Ed, you do it through distance, you do it this way, that way. You have to just complete 15 days of practice teaching and present a report. What is 15 days? It's so important for a teacher to stay in a school, understand the environment, know what they're going to actually go through. So this also is very important. I hope there should be internships, long internships where they get mentored by senior teachers. There may be some very bright young teachers who may be coming to schools with new ideas. They should be given autonomy to practice what they want, to innovate, to experiment over there, to do action research and such like things. That's what I feel. And it's very important for teachers to have a good teaching attitude. People don't talk of a teaching attitude, but if you have an ego, if you are so full of your own knowledge, you may be very knowledgeable, but if you're not able to translate it and transmit it to the child in front of you, you are not a teacher. So I feel that a teaching attitude is very important along with the knowledge. Then there's special education. This is something which is recently there, and we have all been told you must have one special educator in the school, you must have two special educators in the school. I don't believe in one or two special educators. Every teacher should be knowing about special education. If there is a child, on one side we're talking about inclusive education, on the other side we want that child with special needs to be sent out of the classroom to spend time with a special educator. No, that child has to be made a part of the inclusive classroom. So special education should be a very, very important aspect and part of teaching, teacher training. Then of course, subject competency is very important, and digital proficiency has become extremely important these days in today's world. A sensitization to a child's needs, motivational methods and such, and inspiring a desire for self-learning. Ma'am just read the NPST document, and she pointed out those lines where they say teacher is a facilitator. So a teacher is a facilitator. A teacher doesn't have to spoon feed the child. A teacher has to evoke in the child a desire for learning themselves, a curiosity, an interest that goes far beyond maths teachers, science teachers. They simply come to the class, do their job, teach whatever they have to teach. Like ma'am said, finish the syllabus and that's it. That's not what is required. So this is another aspect. Then I also think for a teacher to have a well rounded personality, every teacher must be accomplished in some co-curricular or sporting field. I'm sure everyone who aspires to become a teacher has a talent, and that talent should be owned, and then they should be given some opportunity as to how they can translate and utilize their talent for the benefit of the children in the school. Because school is not just about teaching, teaching, and teaching. It's about co-curriculars, it's about culturals, it's about sports, it's about so many things. It's about pleasure, it's about joy, it's about happiness in the environment. So that is also, according to me, very important. And AI, artificial intelligence, is becoming extremely important, so teachers need to understand and know this. Ma'am has already said about rural internships, and I think I totally agree with her, because our teachers are not sensitized to what is there in the real India, you know. So sometime, and perhaps if we have a system like that, whether it is for private schools, government schools, whatever, if our teachers need to go to the rural settings and teach over there, then it will be very useful in sensitizing them. Communication, public speaking, and social emotional skills has already been spoken of, self-awareness, and of course, after their engagement in the profession, there should be checks and balances, appraisals, adequate opportunity and necessity to upgrade themselves, incentivization, vertical mobility, and so on. I think these are my points, and I hope that I have been able to make a useful contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakuntala. Dr. Shakuntala has focused on basically what are the different the types of experiences a child needs to be given, how the child is to be guided, and education of parents is one of her concern, and there is a whole lot of we can say the things which are available for guiding the parents, but definitely the interaction with the parents is very important. The other things, as I said, that it is a status and we can say career. The status is to be ascribed by the society, and NPST, I should say that it is an attempt in that particular direction. So with the teachers taking up the lead, with the teachers taking up the responsibility of the child, with the teachers taking up the ownership of their own professional development, being concerned more with the achievement of the learner, being child-centered, perhaps that will raise the status of the teachers in the eyes of the society. So otherwise, there are researches which talk about the status of the teachers, and definitely they say that it is very low. It is only the higher education teachers whose status is considered equivalent to the probationary officer in the bank. Otherwise, the school education teachers, it was a study which was quoted in one of the documents of NCT. So other things like digital proficiency and the child which is to be guided in what manner, the pedagogy, everything is being addressed very beautifully in the present document.